Hey, scribes, welcome. And no, I did not get upgraded to my own office. That is coming, okay? But my boy Hassan told me that he was tired of seeing the backsplash during my Facebook Live. So I said, you know what? Let me try something different. Let me see if this works with me swinging the camera around, and now you have this view of my curtains, and it kind of looks like I have now coordinated, leather head wrap, black sweater, and black and white curtains. I'm giving you guys texture today. Please get into it. Please enjoy it. Hey, Jean. So did you guys miss me? Because I did not, I'm looking at my script. I did not have a Facebook Live last week. I needed a mental health break. I had too much going on, deadlines for a magazine story that I was working on, private client things that I needed to catch up on and give comments and notes and just be thorough in areas that I needed to be thorough in. And so that caused this to be delayed. I did not meet with you guys last week, but I am back. I believe I'm on track. And so I'm going to be doing what I need to do. Thank you so much. Definitely hit the likes, hit the love, show me that you're here and with me. And I will be, Hey, Tammy. And I will definitely be giving you guys some of the tea. So today's live is called Reading is the SoulCycle for Your Brain. And let me explain to you what I mean. But first, for anyone who's new, who may be watching on the replay, I am Taiia Smart Young. I am the face behind this page, yeahwrite with Taiia Smart Young. And my goal, my passion in life is to help newbie writers collect income, make impact, and what else? Have influence with their writing. And so one of the things that you need to do to be a strong writer, I know I always talk to you about writing more, but you absolutely have to read, and we're going to get into that. And so there's no way around not reading, point blank and period. So if you're watching this on the replay, definitely hit the like button and send questions, because I do, after the broadcast is over, I do go back and answer questions and connect with you guys. So don't forget to do that. So, also share this video on your timeline, because there are people in my circle, people in your circle who always say, I don't have time to read. You know what? You got time to scroll on Facebook. You got time to scroll on Instagram. You have time to read. And I'm going to tell you why you need to be reading in just a few. So don't forget to share this video with your people. Okay, so for the record, I said this in the email that went out to everyone who's on my email list, that we cannot swap kale recipes. You can't recommend gel. You can't give me a head wrap. You cannot be my bestie if you do not read. So remember, you guys know I love pop culture. So remember in the movie Meet the Fockers with Jack Burns, who is Robert De Niro's character. And then you have his son-in-law, who's Gaylord Fokker, and that's Ben Stiller. And so all the time, Jack Burns was talking about this circle of trust and what you got to do to be in this circle of trust. Guess what? If you do not read, you're not in my circle of trust. I don't know what you're doing with your life, because you need to be reading, whether it's newspapers, magazines, I don't care, scripts. I sent Jean a script the other day because the Black Panther script was available. And I was like, guess what? I want to read the Black Panther script. I saw the movie, but I just, out of curiosity, I want to see how true the script stayed to the movie. And guess what? It stayed pretty close. I'm almost finished reading that. So here's the thing. Even if you read old school, it's not even old school. If you read books, actual books that you have to turn like this and turn the page for, I'm not mad at you. Or if you read, I read a lot of books on iPhone for Kindle. I am not a snob. I don't care if you're reading books that you get from Barnes & Noble or order from Amazon, or if you're reading something that's on your phone or an e-reader. The thing about it is this. It's just easier sometimes for me to read on an e-reader because, hey, Zay, it's easier for me to read on an e-reader because if you're reading Stephen King's The Stand, have you seen that book? It's 1,000 pages long. Who's carrying that book around with them? If you live in New York City like I do, you're not carrying around this big book that's 1,000 pages. You're going to carry it right in here in your iPhone with the guy's number that you just met and all your favorite apps for dating and all that good stuff. You want it in one place. You're not trying to be looking around for this 1,000-page book that you need to be carrying around with you. What are you talking about? There we go. What are you talking about? There we go, Jean. Okay, so actually, I mentioned Jean because this broadcast is in a way inspired by Jean's question. He wanted to know what books that I recommend. And so I wasn't quite sure if you guys want recommendations that are craft books or you want recommendations that are maybe you're working on a book of nonfiction essays, you're working on an anthology, you're working on a memoir, autobiography, and you want recommendations for what you should be reading while you're working on this work. Hit me up, let me know, and I will definitely do a broadcast about that. Why are the comments off? My comments are off? Oh, how did that even happen? I don't know how the comments are off, Jean, but let me just take a quick peek and see what's going on. You know, sometimes Facebook be trying to, be trying to give me the runaround. So definitely, let me see. Jean, put another comment in so I can see if it's going to come through, because then that's going to be frustrating if I can't get comments from you guys, because I definitely have a question for you. Jean, try to put another comment in. Let me do a test right here and tell me if that comes through for you guys. All right, so my comment came through. Okay, it's on now. Thank you, Jean. Thank you so much. So now that it's on, let's see. Tell me what you guys are reading right now, or maybe you're not reading anything right now. Maybe you're just you just finished something. Tell me what you're reading. Tell me what you just finished reading and why. I just finished reading. You have to check out this book. It's called The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. So it's written by two women. The book is a thriller. It threw me for a loop. I didn't see any of the plot twists coming. So that's something that I'm reading in terms of fiction. I'm not reading any nonfiction right now, which is really strange for me because I'm always reading nonfiction books versus fiction. But what are you guys reading? Tell me. Let's see. And there's a small delay. Okay, got you, Jean. Thank you so much for letting me know there's a small delay. All right, so here is why reading is the soul cycle for your brain. The top thing, it improves your memory. So I read this article on Bustle, and they had these statistics from the Fisher, I want to get it right, the Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research. And they said that reading can protect your memory and your thinking skills, especially as you get older. Now, listen, I'm in my 40s, about to have a birthday on Monday. I have a lot of senior moments at times, but I do know that reading strengthens my memory when it comes to things, and it strengthens my thinking, right? So, and it even said, this study even said that it keeps our brain healthier and high functioning for even longer. And I don't know about you, but I want all faculties, right? Don't be trying to come for my life insurance policy and getting me to sign some fake document, and underneath I done signed all over my millions over to you. I'm not doing it. I'm trying to keep the mind sharp. So the study also said that we will live longer if we read a lot. Listen, I might be immortal out in these streets with with as much as I read. I might live forever. So while we are taking our spin classes and doing our yoga and doing, like me, I was doing kickboxing. I need to get back to that. While we're doing all these things to keep our bodies tight and keep our booties tight, we're doing the squats, right? We're trying to make it firm. We're trying to lift it up. We got to do the same for our brain. And the only way to do that is to make sure that we're reading. So it makes no sense. You don't want to be the grandma or the grandpa out in these streets with the 6-pack. You don't want to be the grandma with the fatty and you can't remember the names of your grandchildren, right? You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that the body is tight and the mind is tight too. So let's be immortal together in a 360-degree capacity. Now, this was surprising to me because I wasn't quite sure how to take this, but reading makes you more empathetic. Now, I thought that reading nonfiction would make you empathetic because you're reading maybe a memoir or autobiography and you're being swayed to someone's position or something like that. But actually, Science Magazine said that literary fiction helps you become more empathetic because it helps you understand people's mental state, and that helps you to navigate complex relationships. I didn't say it. Science Magazine said it. believe it or don't believe it, but I'm going to go with believing it. And I'm still going to read my science, my nonfiction along with my literary nonfiction. I'm not making a complete switch. Let's see. Tell me, I don't see what here. Oh, wait. Gene says he's reading Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. What the hell is that? What is that? What is that book? I don't know this book. Tell me what this book is. I think you made that up. Another thing about reading is the more you read, the more your writing will improve. Now, I know in the past that I told you that you have to write a lot to make sure that your writing does improve, but the same goes and holds true for reading. So let me tell you about me. When I read in two specific ways. I definitely read for pleasure, but I also read to analyze. And some people call this a close read. And what's distracting sometimes is that my mind is so focused on getting to the analyze, the part where I analyze the document that I'm reading, that it gets to be a distraction and I lose focus and I lose the time that I'm enjoying something that I'm reading. But when you're doing a close read, you're looking at a few things. So like for me, I'm looking at how does the author start the story? How do they introduce the characters or how do they introduce the facts? How does she end the chapter? Because that's always big for me. I was taught in workshops and when I was in school that you gotta end your chapter with the cliffhanger. So I want to see if the author is going to stay true to that and make sure that the reader wants to turn to the next page. How does she or he organize the plot? I think the thing for me about the book called The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendrickson and Sarah Pekkanen is that there were so many twists that I didn't expect coming. And there was so much foreshadowing that the authors did in terms of little nuggets of information that I read the book twice. And I listened to it on audiobook because something to me about when I listen to audiobooks, it seems like it just penetrates the story. I absorb the story in a different way. So there was so much that they had dropped in terms of character flaws that didn't seem relevant originally when I was reading it. But then when you go back and you look and you analyze, it's like, wow, okay, they really crafted this story very well because there were signs of abuse that I didn't see. I'm not going to tell you anymore because I don't want to give it away, but there was definitely signs that became clear. The same way if you think about Get Out, all the things that if you have to watch Get Out multiple times, right? Because if you don't, you miss all the clues. And so things that just seemed irrelevant, like when the character, I forgot her name, was sitting on the bed toward the end of the movie and she had her milk with the black straw inside of the milk and she was swirling it around. We didn't pay attention to that at first, but that was really a symbol of what was going on in terms of the movie. So when you're reading, and obviously when you're watching a film as well, you're doing a close analysis of what's going on. How did the author end the book? Okay, so ever since, this is a little crazy, but ever since I was in middle school, I've been obsessed with reading the last page of the book. So what I would do was I would take the book, open it up, read the first paragraph, and then go flip to the last paragraph. And I've been obsessed with it. I think that Edgar Allan Poe used to do that. And so when I learned that in middle school, I was like, oh, I'm doing it. I was going through an Edgar Allan Poe stage. I was kind of in love with him and his writing because it was so dark. And I used to write a lot of dark stuff in middle school. And so I wanted to write like him and be like him. So that's the way that I started to do it. I know it's a little nerdy, but sue me. Okay. So one of the biggest things for writers when you're doing a close read is that you are going to pay attention to grammar. And this is especially important for my people who have grammar issues. When you read more and you realize how a sentence is constructed, it can influence how you're constructing your sentences. When you're looking at voice, when you're looking at style, when you're looking at tense, is it written in the present tense? Is it written in the past tense? When you're looking at punctuation, for people who have issues with punctuation, this is huge. Thank you for the hearts and the love. And you're also looking at the writer's creativity. How many times have we seen a movie or we heard about a new book coming out and we're like, oh, I've seen that movie before, like 100 times, right? Nothing seems to be new. But when you're reading a book and you're realizing that the writer had brought all this creativity to it in terms of the wife between us, because it was a big reveal, and I'm not going to give the book away, but like in Get Out, if you saw Get Out, then you realize that, wow, Jordan Peele crafted this story, this horror story, this thriller in a way that we hadn't necessarily seen horror films before. And it wasn't just because, you know, we got a black guy in the lead. Okay. So one of the biggest things for me, because words are our currency as writers, is that I love vocabulary. So I'm looking at vocabulary. I'm looking at how the author treats words. Do they introduce new words that I don't know? I am big for taking a highlighter. If it's an actual hard book, I'm highlighting it with my highlighter, or on iPhone for Kindle, I'm making a highlight. I want to know what these words mean, right? So for instance, a long time ago, I was reading this article in the New Yorker, and the writer used the word sotto voce. I was like, what the hell is a sotto voce? I didn't even know what it meant. And I tried to look at it in context, and I was like, okay, I think it means to lower your voice. And it actually does. It means to lower your voice with intention so that you're drawing focus to what you're saying. And I still have not been able to use this word, or actually it's two words, sotto voce, in a story yet. But that is my goal, because I'm like, you know, I want to nerd out on people. I want to be able to show you that I got a little bit of SAT vocabulary going on over here. So if you want to be like moi and get up your SAT vocabulary, then you definitely want to read. But you also want to go to dictionary.com, and you can sign up for, this is for all my real nerds out there, you can sign up for the word of the day. Now, I forgot what today's word is, but yesterday's word was cousin. And I think, did I say it right? Yeah, it actually is cousin, but it's spelled C-O-Z-E-N, and it means to deceive. Mind blown. I was like, okay, now I have to figure out a way to use this word. So go ahead and do that. Sign up if you're a nerd like me. So Sharice says, Sister Soldier, no disrespect. Okay, that's a good one. That's a classic. I am a researcher, Jean. Christopher, hey, Christopher, he said, I just finished reading Hanover House by Brenda Novak, a thriller. And I think probably, Christopher, all the books you read are probably thrillers. He said, I used to do that too. I just read the last word only, not the whole last page. No, Christopher, I would read the whole, like, I would say to myself, listen, I don't know how this, I might not read this book. I don't know how it ends. So I would just flip to the end. And if you've ever seen the movie Harry Met Sally, Billy Crystal's character actually does that in the scene where I think they're Christmas shopping or something like that. And he does that. And I was like, oh my God, somebody else does this weird thing that I do. Let's see. Anybody reading? Let's see. What are you saying, Hatu, Jean? What was your question about? And I am a researcher. Sharice, what made you read No Disrespect? Are you reading it, rereading it for the first time? Or is this, what you call it, something that you just grabbed because someone recommended? Christopher said he is a nerd like me, and he does a word of the day too. Not great on keeping up with them though. No, you know what? Sometimes it is just the satisfaction of knowing that it's there and that I can go back to it. There's something very calming about having that word of the day pop up in my inbox, even if I don't read it that day. Sometimes if I'm behind, I may go back and just look at the last two words of the day just to keep my vocabulary, fresh. I like to, I'm not a fighter, but I will give you a sternly written email. I will give you a stern tongue lashing. And how can I do that if my vocabulary is not like better than yours? I need it to be, if I'm going to come at you, I'm going to come at you. I might not give you the read of the streets, but I'm going to give you an intelligent read, Okay, let's see. Sotto voce, the word that I use. Look it up. I'm telling you. And then once I saw the word sotto voce, I swear to God, it started to appear in almost everything that I was reading. But it's kind of highbrow. It's a little one of those snooty words, kind of snobby words. So it would appear in things that were a little bit more highbrow. You're not going to see that in, maybe like Us Weekly or something like that. And that's not shade to Us Weekly, because I love my entertainment, gossip. Let's see. Well, I think I had another question for you. Okay, so who is Jean? What's Jean? I was asking about the title of the book that you dropped in, and I'm not sure what that is. Cherise, was that a recommendation, that Sister Soldier? No disrespect, or you just decided to reread it? And Jean said, grannies with fatties don't need memories. You know what? Listen, there's a lot of surgery going on in these streets, and there's just a lot of people. Did you see the image of the woman? It's like a meme. So side by side, you have a picture of this older woman with the cane, and then you have a picture of this Black woman. They're both 80. So there's one woman with a cane, and she's hunched over, and the Black woman who's 80, and her abs are ridiculous. She made me want to put down the chips and the Oreo cookies, and she's holding a kettlebell, and her arms are like beautiful. They're just like golden and toned. She is in her 80s. So, but it makes no sense for her to be or chiseled and toned if her mind is not right. So I'm sure she's taking care of her mind the same way that she's taking care of her body. So let's see. Any questions from you guys? Any comments? Oh, I wanted to, hey, Tiffany. Tiffany, tell me what you're reading, or what you just finished reading before we end the broadcast. Cherise says, I'm reading it for the first time, found out, and this is Sister Soldier's No Disrespect. She said, I'm reading it for the first time, found it at a discount bookstore, and I have always been intrigued by her work. Good answer. What you call it? I have not read No Disrespect. I definitely read The Coldest Winter Ever, and was waiting for that to be turned into a feature film, and it never happened. I think a long time ago, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith bought the rights to that, if memory serves me correctly. So I was looking for that to come to screen, but it definitely did not happen. Let's see. And tell me, what do you guys, tell me, Cherise, are you working on anything right now? Tiffany, what are you working on? Christopher, I know you're working on some stuff. Oh, and I wanted to say that Christopher got his prize, his emergency writer's pack from our Love is When writing challenge. And who else? Tanika, she got her prize, which was the Starbucks gift card. There's just one more to go out, and that's to Cecily Baptiste. And I looked in my email database, and Cecily, I do not have your email address. So please, if you're watching this, I'm also going to make a post about it as well. If you're watching this, send me your email address so I can send you your prize as well, which is your gift certificate to Barnes & Noble. And then Ron Bullock, he answered my survey, and he got, I sent off his t-shirt, and I was a little bit delayed. Ron, don't be mad at me, forgive me, but that is coming to you in the mail this week. Let's see. The book Black Leopard, Red Wolf is written by a Black author, and his book is well received. Okay, you're definitely gonna have. I'm definitely going to have to check that out. It's a story about a hunter telling a story. HBO screwed her. You're talking about The Coldest Winter Ever? Is that what you mean when you say HBO screwed her? Let's see. Tiffany says, "Hey family, honestly, the ASVA book, just started trying to get back into the military." Got it. Understood. Cherise says, "I'm working on building my blog, freelance freelance website. I am doing hard news, current events coming soon." Okay, excellent. I'm looking forward to this. Please keep us posted on this. Well, you guys, that is all from me for today in terms of reading is the soul cycle for your brain. Don't forget, reading improves your memory. It helps your writing, and it helps you be more empathetic. And I want to continue hearing about what you guys are reading and what you guys are working on. Christopher, I have not forgotten about you. Like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, I had to take a mental health break. I was doing too much, but I am back. And so, Christopher, I will definitely get back to you this weekend or at the top of the week. And Monday is my birthday, you guys. So if y'all want to shout me out on y'all socials, go ahead. I ain't going to be mad at you. I need the love. All right, you guys, take care, and I will see you next week. Bye. Oh, Gene said he's working on a blog and TV show, you guys. And with that, I will see you next week. Take care.